Welcome to today's Explainer. You know, we hear the term AI absolutely everywhere right now. But today, we're completely bypassing the buzzwords and the hype. We're going to look directly at the concrete numbers and the hard realities driving this global artificial intelligence revolution. It can honestly be pretty tough to separate the science fiction from the facts, so we're going to ground our understanding entirely in data. Let's look at exactly how this technology is reshaping our world.
Okay, let's dive into this. 100 million. That is the absolutely staggering number of users that ChatGPT reached in just 2 short months back in 2022. I mean, it literally became the fastest growing application in all of human history. And that number is the perfect hook for our journey today because it highlights something fundamental here: the sheer, unprecedented velocity of this adoption. AI isn't some distant sci-fi dream anymore. It's already here, and it's moving faster than anything we've ever seen.
So, here's our roadmap for making sense of it all today. We're going to cover the economic earthquake, the great job reshuffle, saving lives faster, your invisible assistant, and finally, the caution flag. All right, starting with number 1, the economic earthquake. To really grasp the scale of this revolution, we got to follow the money, specifically the $200 billion that big tech companies, we're talking Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, are collectively pouring into AI infrastructure right now, in a single year. And that massive investment is aiming at a historic payoff: $15.7 trillion. That is the projected global economic boost from AI by the year 2030. To put a number that huge into perspective, we're talking about a 14% boost to the global GDP. That actually exceeds the current economic output of China and India combined. It's just mind-blowing. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer speed of that value creation. Microsoft, obviously one of the greatest tech companies in history, took roughly 44 years to hit a $1 trillion market value. But then look at Anthropic, the AI company behind the Claude chatbot. Founded in 2021, and they reached a valuation of nearly $1 trillion in roughly 5 years. Take a second to let that sink in. We are seeing decades of traditional corporate growth compressed into just a handful of years. This speed, it's really the defining feature of the entire AI boom. Moving on to Section 2, the Great Job Reshuffle. Let's get right into the very real impact this is having on everyday employment. Now, to really understand the stakes here, check out this projection from the World Economic Forum. They estimate that by 2030, up to 92 million jobs globally could be displaced by AI and automation. And this is going to directly affect roles that rely heavily on routine tasks. Think data entry clerks, telemarketers, basic bookkeeping, or traditional customer service. It's a massive shift, and understandably, it causes a lot of anxiety. But let's look a bit deeper, because here is the crucial turn that flashy headlines often miss. Alongside those 92 million displaced jobs, that exact same forecast predicts the creation of 170 million brand new jobs. That is a massive net gain. We're seeing entirely new career paths emerge out of nowhere. Things like prompt engineers, people who literally specialize in talking to and instructing AI models, making up to $300,000 a year. Or take a modern customer service agent. Today, they often aren't being replaced. Instead, they're supervising an AI that handles 70% of the routine queries, which frees the human up to solve the most complex, nuanced problems. So, the crucial point is captured perfectly in this quote. AI won't take your job. A person using AI will take the job of a person who doesn't. Just take a moment to let that sink in. It completely shifts the perspective, doesn't it? From this paralyzing fear of displacement to a really powerful opportunity for personal empowerment. Because the future isn't about human versus machine. It's about human with machine. Okay, let's jump to Section 3, saving lives faster. Because beyond the economics, the breakthroughs happening in healthcare right now are truly inspiring. Just look at the incredible impact on medical imaging. AI models are now matching and in some cases even exceeding human radiologists when it comes to crucial cancer detection accuracy. For instance, in breast cancer screening, AI has actually reduced false negatives by up to 9% and false positives by up to 5%. And think about what those single-digit percentages actually mean in the real world. Behind those numbers are thousands of lives saved, families kept together, and totally unnecessary, stressful procedures avoided. And the acceleration in medical research is just as staggering. Traditionally, developing a new drug takes around 10 to 15 years and costs billions of dollars. But look at what DeepMind's AlphaFold achieved. It predicted the 3D structure of over 200 million proteins. Because proteins dictate how diseases work, knowing their shape is basically the master key to creating new cures. It effectively solved a grand challenge of biology that had stumped scientists for 50 years.
What would have taken human researchers hundreds of millions of years of lab work was done exponentially faster. In fact, recently, AI screened 100 million chemical compounds in just days to identify a brand new antibiotic candidate. We are quite literally compressing centuries of biological research into a matter of weeks. Moving into Section 4, Your Invisible Assistant. Let's talk about AIs seamlessly operating in your everyday life. Let me ask you something. How are you interacting with AI right now? You might be thinking, well, I'm really not. But the truth is, it's a current reality woven directly into your daily routine. Just think about these everyday touchpoints. When you fire up Netflix, an AI algorithm is actually driving about 80% of what you choose to watch. Google's AI is grinding away processing an incredible 8.5 billion searches every single day. Those navigation apps on your phone, they use AI to route you around traffic, which saves the average commuter dozens of hours a year. And your email spam filters use AI to block around 100 million dangerous phishing emails daily. It's this massive stacking effect, where over 1 billion people are relying on this invisible assistant every single day without even realizing it. But it actually goes way beyond just passive background assistance. AI is becoming an active, incredibly powerful creative partner. 55%. That is how much faster developers can complete coding tasks when they use AI pair programmers like GitHub Copilot. Whether it's writing code, generating images for marketing campaigns, or even helping script videos, AI is immediately accelerating our own human creativity and output. And that brings us to Section 5, the caution flag. Because as with any major shift, we absolutely need to look at the macro risks and the downsides here, impartially. There are some very real, very serious challenges with this boom. We are facing an entirely new landscape of deepfakes spreading misinformation online. We have to grapple with algorithmic bias, which could potentially affect who gets a job or who gets approved for a loan. There are also massive, unresolved questions regarding the privacy of the data being used to train these systems in the first place. As this technology rapidly scales up, so do the societal challenges that we must collectively and very carefully navigate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it forces us to confront the physical reality of our virtual world. Training just a single large AI model can consume as much electricity as hundreds of homes use in an entire year. These systems, they feel like they exist purely as magic in the cloud, but they have a staggering physical gravity and a very real environmental footprint. We are going to have to figure out how to balance these incredible digital benefits with their tangible physical costs. Which brings us to the ultimate question. Look, AI is not magic, and it is certainly not the end of the world. It is simply the most transformative technology we have seen since the invention of electricity, and we are only in the very earliest chapters. The future belongs entirely to those who choose to adapt today. So I'll leave you with this. Will you learn to ride the wave, or watch it pass you by? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep adapting, and I'll see you next time.